Welcome to St. Lucie Public Schools Transportation Department, Employee Training and Development. The purpose of this training is to set clear expectations for managing student behavior on school buses, including how to respond to incidents, maintain control, and ensure a safe environment for all students. Consistent and appropriate responses are critical to safety, accountability, and maintaining order on the bus. We will also review the proper steps for writing student referrals, including documentation expectations, reporting procedures, and the importance of timely and accurate information. Before we get started, let's review some of the basic bus safety rules. Students must ride their assigned bus, and each student must board and depart at a designated bus stop. Students should be at the bus 10 minutes before the scheduled stop time. Parents are responsible for students prior to boarding the bus and after departing from the bus. Students will board, depart, and cross the roadway as per instructions from the bus driver. The bus driver must assign seats, and students will sit in their assigned seats at all times. No portions of the body are permitted outside of the bus windows. Students will not throw any items in or out of the bus. Reptiles, bugs, animals, or marine life, whether dead or alive, are not permitted on the bus. Banned instruments, school projects, or special equipment which interfere with the seating or safety of others are not permitted on the bus. Eating, drinking, or chewing gum is not permitted on the bus. Students will be responsible for vandalism. Restitution will be required. And students may have their cell phones on the bus as long as they do not become a distraction. Remember the 4 R's of student management. Rules. Establish clear expectations from the very beginning and consistently enforce them. Students should always know what behavior is expected while riding the bus. Reason. Help students understand the purpose behind the rules. When students know that expectations are designed to keep everyone safe, they are more likely to cooperate and make positive choices. Rapport. Build positive relationships with your students. Greet them by name, show genuine interest, and create an environment where students feel respected and valued. Strong rapport often prevents behavior issues before they begin. And respect. Treat every student with fairness, patience, and professionalism. When respect is modeled by the driver, students are more likely to demonstrate respect toward others and follow expectations. Rules provide structure. Reason creates understanding. Rapport builds trust. Respect creates positive culture. Together, the 4 R's help create a safe and successful bus ride for everyone. Don't forget to use the CHAMPS techniques when managing student behavior. Set your expectations from the beginning and use bus bucks to reward positive behavior. If you are missing a CHAMPS poster on your bus, please see the parts department and they can provide one for you. Also, if you encounter a school that is not accepting our bus bucks, please reach out directly to Ms. Cruz, as she is working with the district to ensure full participation from all of our schools. When managing student behavior, spell the word bus. B. Be consistent. Consistently enforce expectations and rules for every student every day. Students thrive when they know what is expected and understand that rules are applied fairly and consistently. You use good judgment. Every situation is different. Use sound judgment, remain calm, and make decisions that prioritize student safety while addressing behaviors appropriately and professionally. S. Set expectations. Establish clear expectations from the very beginning. Review bus rules regularly. Communicate expectations clearly and reinforce positive behavior through recognition and rewards whenever possible. Remember, a well-managed bus starts with clear expectations, consistent follow-through, and professional judgment. When students know what to expect and trust that the rules are fair, the bus ride becomes safer and more enjoyable for everyone. Let's review some behavior intervention steps. Before writing a referral, did you speak with school staff for assistance? Talk to school ramp staff or administrators. You can ask them to board your bus and address the student or students regarding their behavior. You should always aim to partner with the school to help reinforce expectations and consequences. Did you contact the parent or guardian? Speak directly with them regarding their student's behavior. Make sure you clearly explain the concern and the behavior that needs to be corrected. Ask them for a partnership in helping improve their students' behavior to ensure safety for all students on board. And don't forget, you can send a note home to a parent documenting the concern and communication. And did you ask your area manager for help? If you have followed all the steps above and there has been no improvement, contact your area manager for assistance. Your manager can make contact with the parents on your behalf and can also coordinate with school administration. Area managers may also visit the school and speak directly with the students. Remember, referrals should be used after appropriate intervention efforts have been made whenever possible. Working with schools, parents, and management often resolves behavior concerns before a referral becomes necessary. Some behaviors warrant an immediate referral and may bypass intervention steps due to the seriousness of the incident. Examples include, but are not limited to, physical fights or assaults, possession or use of drugs, alcohol, or vaping devices, possession of a weapon or dangerous object, threats of violence, sexual misconduct, severe bullying, harassment, or intimidation, and of course, any behavior that creates an immediate safety concern. Student safety is always the priority. When in doubt, contact dispatch, your area manager, or administration for guidance. Here is how to address most behavior concerns. When the incident occurs, be sure to intervene immediately. Address the behavior as soon as it occurs, using the appropriate intervention steps. Reinforce bus rules and expectations. Clearly communicate the expected behavior moving forward. And don't ignore the behavior and hope that it improves on its own. If the behavior continues after following the intervention steps, then complete a referral. Remember, when writing a referral, include only one student name per referral. State only the facts of what occurred. Be sure you leave out your personal opinions, assumptions, or emotions. Be specific and detailed, and make sure that you submit the referral immediately to your manager to ensure timely processing. Your manager will review the referral for accuracy and sign off on it before it is submitted to the school. Once the referral is forwarded to the school for review, they will issue the discipline. Remember, transportation employees do not issue discipline. The school administration determines any disciplinary action they feel is appropriate based on the investigation and student code of conduct. If you would like to know the outcome of a referral, you can get with your area manager. Managers can review the status and disciplinary actions in Skyward and provide an update to you when available. If you are not addressing and documenting behavioral concerns, we cannot help you resolve them. Behavior issues that are not documented are difficult to investigate, support, or correct. Documentation provides the information needed to identify patterns, involve parents and school administration, and take appropriate action. Make sure all reports are submitted immediately. We have a limited window to review incidents and submit referrals to schools. Delayed reporting may impact our ability to address the behavior effectively. This includes referrals and incident reports. Remember, if it wasn't documented, it didn't happen. Make sure you document it. Now let's take some time to review some behavior management reminders. Inaction is the worst response. Do not ignore inappropriate behavior. If behavior is not addressed immediately, it will often continue and escalate. Always reinforce the established rules and expectations. Reasonable force policy. Employees may use reasonable force to protect themselves or others from harm when necessary. For additional information, refer to SLPS Board Policy 3.44. Student discipline. Discipline is handled by the schools. Transportation employees do not have the authority to suspend students or refuse transportation due to behavior, so please do not use it as a threat. All eligible students must be transported. Assigned bus stops. Students may only be released at their assigned bus stops. Drivers may not release students at alternate locations unless directed through approved procedures. Releasing students at unauthorized locations creates significant liability and safety concerns. Do not return students to school for behavior issues. Students should not be transported back to the school solely for misconduct occurring on the bus. You'll need to decide. If there's an immediate safety threat, stop the bus in a safe location and contact security and dispatch immediately. If there is no immediate safety threat, restore order, continue the route, and document the incident through the referral process after completing the route. Document all concerns. Remember, complete all referrals and incident reports. Be factual, detailed, and objective. Leave opinions and assumptions out of your report. Submit documentation immediately to avoid delays in schools' follow-up and disciplinary action. And very important, air conditioning is not a discipline tool. Drivers may not stop the bus and intentionally shut off the air conditioning as a form of discipline. Doing so creates liability, may pose a safety concern, and violates department expectations. Any employee found using air conditioning as a disciplinary measure may be subject to disciplinary action. And of course, when in doubt, reach out.
Let's review some common questions and answers. Can I return to a school if a student is not obeying bus rules?
Absolutely not. Once you depart from the school, you're not to return unless instructed by management or a member of security.
What should I do if the student won't sit down? They're constantly yelling and stomping their feet.
Try these techniques. First, you'll need to reinforce the rules. Advise the student you're going to have to pull over the bus and wait till they are seated in order to continue. Second, pull the bus over and reiterate the rule. Inform the student if they do not sit, you'll need to contact their parent and write a referral. Spend a few minutes trying to manage the student behavior. Then, you can try calling dispatch or a manager to have them give instructions over the radio. We've seen this work in the past. And finally, if you're unable to move the bus because the situation poses a safety hazard, you should call for security. Understand that security may not be able to respond and they may have to send 911.
If a physical fight occurs, am I allowed to intervene?
The reasonable force policy allows you to defend yourself and other students. There's more information on this online, or you can speak to a manager.
And lastly, are students allowed to have cell phones while riding on the bus?
Yes, in fact they are. Students can use their cell phone on the bus as long as it does not become a safety distraction. If it does become a safety distraction, ask them to put it away. But you cannot take away a student's phone.
Wait. I have more questions. Why doesn't security take the misbehaving students off the bus?
School security officers assist the driver with de-escalating the student's behavior. Security will not remove a student unless the student becomes a safety threat to others on board.
What type of issues does security respond to?
Security will respond to anything that poses a safety threat. Again, if it's a student misbehaving, proceed with writing a referral and continue on your route. Don't contact security if it does not pose a safety threat.
Well, what's the safety threat?
A safety threat is anything that interferes with the safe operation of your bus. If the interference does stop while you're waiting on security and the bus can proceed safely, please do so and just write the referral later.
Is cussing or verbal disrespect a safety threat?
No. Continue on with your route and write a referral later. Do the best you can to ignore that behavior if they don't stop, and again, proceed with your route and write the referral later.
Why isn't anything done when a referral is written?
Well, that definitely seems to be the common perception. If a referral is submitted more than one day after it happened, then we cannot send it off to the school, so discipline would not happen. Managers have access to Skyward to review the discipline outcomes, so if you want to know the result, ask your manager. Remember, all discipline is at the discretion of the school. Referrals are tracked in Skyward, and again, if you want to know the outcome, just ask your area manager.
Let's review. Remember the 4 R's: rules, reason, rapport, and respect. Use your CHAMPS techniques to manage student behavior. Be sure you are following the intervention steps. Speak with the school staff for assistance. Contact the parent or guardian to help build that partnership. And of course, you can ask your area manager for help. Write referrals properly. Remember to write clear, only one student name on the referral, only list the facts of the situation, no opinions, and make sure you're turning it into a manager within 1 day, or it may not be processed. The reasonable force policy allows you to defend yourself and others. And if you'd like more information, you can see our website or speak with a manager. Students are permitted to use their cell phones on the bus as long as it does not become a distraction. And remember, you do not have the authority to refuse students to ride. All discipline is handled by the schools. This portion of the training will review student behavior management expectations, intervention techniques, referral procedures, documentation requirements, safety versus discipline issues, and the roles and responsibilities of transportation staff, school administration, security, and parents. Our goal is to ensure all employees understand how to appropriately address student behavior, maintain a safe environment, document incidents accurately, and follow established procedures when behavioral concerns arise. Remember, consistency, communication, documentation, and timely intervention are keys to successful behavior management. We've already reviewed the proper intervention steps, but if those steps are unsuccessful, now it's time to complete the referral. Just remember, complete the referral the same day as the incident occurs. And of course, make sure you submit the referral to your area manager within 1 day of the incident. Referrals turned in more than 1 day after the incident occurs will not be sent to the school. Therefore, there will be no disciplinary action taken against the student. Keep in mind, all reports are time sensitive. It's crucial that you complete your paperwork as soon as possible to avoid delays. We've recently updated the bus safety referral to make it easier to complete. Let's spend a few minutes reviewing each section. In section 1, it's important that all fields are completed accurately. Be sure to include the date and time of the incident, the bus number, the student name, the student ID number, school, grade, and the student gender. You will also need to indicate whether the student has an IEP, a 504 plan, or a behavior plan. Next, identify where the incident occurred. Was it on a school bus, at the bus stop, or on the bus ramp? And how many students were involved in the incident? Next, you'll need to figure out their motivation. Check which box it applies. Now, let's look at the prior action taken. Have you taken all of the steps prior to writing this referral? This information helps the school understand what interventions have already been attempted before the referral was submitted. Indicate whether or not you have previously submitted an incident report pertaining to this, and indicate whether or not you have contacted the parent or guardian to advise them their student would be getting a referral. Providing complete information in both sections helps the school administration properly review, investigate, and address the incident in a timely manner. In section 2, you will provide a detailed description of what took place during the incident. When completing this section, remember, only include the facts of the situation. Do not include opinions, assumptions, or your personal feelings. You'll want to describe exactly what you observed and heard, and be sure you are specific and detailed. Remember, only include one student name per referral. It is important that your description is clear and easy to understand, as the information on the referral is manually transcribed and reviewed by school administration. Before moving on, review the gray box at the bottom of the section and check all items that may apply to the incident. This information provides additional details to assist the school in their review and investigation. A well-written referral should clearly answer the who, what, where, when, and why of the incident. And finally, in Section 3, be sure to complete the employee certification section by signing your name, printing your name, and entering the date the referral is being completed. Remember, student referrals should be submitted immediately after the incident whenever possible. Delays in submission can impact the school's ability to investigate the incident and take appropriate action in a timely manner. The gray box located on the right side of this section is for manager use only and should be left blank by the employee completing the referral. Now we'll review some quick do's and don'ts of writing referrals. Do, write clear so the handwriting is readable. Make sure you fill out the referral completely. Be detailed with the description. Of course, only writing the facts of the situation. Sign, print, and date, and make sure you've turned it into your area manager within one date of the incident occurring. Don't include students' names if multiple students are involved. Write one referral per student. Do not write your opinion of the situation. Also, don't tie up the radio about referrals. Please come in and see your area manager. Don't involve security for an incident that is a non-emergency. And don't refuse a student to ride. You do not have the authority to suspend students. Now, I want you to take a few moments to review this referral. I'm going to ask you if you think the referral was written correctly, and if not, how many mistakes you found. All right, now that you've had time to review this referral, I'm going to ask, is this referral written correctly? If you said no, you're correct. How many mistakes did you find on this referral? If you found 4 mistakes, you're correct. Now, let's review those mistakes together. Mistake number 1, the grade is missing. Mistake number 2, the driver used another student's name in the referral. Remember, there is only one student name on the referral. Mistake number 3, the driver stated their opinion. This kid needs to be suspended off the bus for 5 days. That is an opinion, not a fact. And mistake number 4 is the date is 2 days later than what the original referral date was. Notice at the top of the form, the date of incident is May 8th. The date this referral was submitted is May 10th. Remember, timely processing is important. There is a separate bullying and harassment report form that must be completed when you observe or become aware of bullying, harassment, intimidation, or threatening behavior. This is different from a student behavior referral. If you witness bullying or harassment, complete the appropriate form and submit it to your area manager immediately for review and follow-up. Never ignore bullying or harassing behavior. As a school transportation employee, we have a responsibility to intervene when it is safe to do so. Document what occurred and report it promptly. Early intervention helps ensure student safety and prevents situations from escalating. In case you missed it, let's review. Referrals are part of the progressive discipline process for students. Be sure you are following the intervention steps before writing referrals. Remember that some incidents warrant an immediate referral. When completing a referral, remember only one student name on a referral. All areas must be completed. Be detailed as to what happened, using only the facts of the situation. Print, sign, and date at the bottom, and make sure that you're submitting within 24 hours of the incident occurring. If you don't submit timely, there's a good chance the referral may not get processed. All staff will be held accountable to meet all the expectations set forth by the transportation management team. Failure to meet these expectations may result in disciplinary action, up to and including termination of employment. Thank you. Your training is now complete. If you have any questions, please see your area manager. You may now proceed to the quiz.